Hey, everybody, and welcome back to The Odds Couple. I'm Sid Rosenberg here with my good friend and esteemed handicapper, Mark Lawrence from the new and improved Playbook.com. Hey, Mark, how are you, buddy?
It's terrific, Sid. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Back for the NFL weekend right here. For once, I listened to one of your trends, and thankfully, it paid off for me. Unfortunately, that was my only win this past week.
Hey, we do what we can do. We pick up the winners where we can pick them up.
Right, well, I'm going to keep copying you, that's all, just stealing stuff from you. This time now, 3 hot trends for week 6 of the NFL season. Let's get to trend number 1. These have been money, by the way, Mark. Great job out of you and the guys at Playbook.com. The struggling Redskins are 6.5-point favorites against the visiting and winless Kansas City Chiefs, but things are not necessarily looking up for Jim Zorn and the 2-3 Washington Redskins.
Not at all for Washington, Sid. How about the last 10 games that they've been favored, non-conference games, 0-9-1 to the spread. They haven't covered any of them, and I don't see them covering this particular week either. No offense, a lack of chemistry in that football team. Or look out for the Redskins. There could be a coaching change here by the end of the season.
Oh, I agree with you. I think somebody will actually replace the coach now, Zorn, in the middle of the season, and then I think Mike Shanahan's a guy that may get that job full-time.
Yeah, he'd be looming large right now, Mike Shanahan. Looked pretty good on the sidelines.
I would think so. The Bengals are riding high. Your Cincinnati Bengals, Mark, they win last week, first place AFC North after the win over the Ravens, but you say beware of a big letdown this week against the Texans, a game I'll talk about later on.
Cincinnati Bengals in a huge letdown mode here. How about 1-11 to the spread when they're coming off a division game and taking on a sub-500 opponent? That's the role here they're in against Houston this particular week. And Houston's capable. On any given week, they can upset anybody here. And this is a bad flat spot here for Cincinnati. Take the points with the Texans. Don't be surprised if the Bengals win another close football game.
Very emotional win for the Bengals, though, last week. Mike Zimmer losing his wife last week.
For sure.
Marvin Lewis. It was nice to see. Yeah, they're a pretty good story so far this year.
Are.
Green Bay comes off the bye week. The host of Detroit has big 13.5-point favorites, Mark. That's likely a bad situation for the Pack.
I think it is a bad situation for the Pack. I don't know about laying points with this football team. How about 2-12-1
wow.
to the spread? The last 15 times they've laid more than 10 points in a football game. You're talking about a Detroit Lion football team here who has changed its complexion completely under Jim Schwartz, the former defensive coordinator at Tennessee. He's done a nice job putting this Lions team back into the respectability mode here right now. Take the points with the Lions, fade the Packers in a role they can't handle.
All right, Mark, time to check out our inbox, answer one of your handicapping questions. Anthony's in Denver. Pretty good place to be right now,
yes,
5-0. It's a normal custom to stay away from big favorites in the NFL, but this year they seem to be covering. You got 2 big ones this week. The Eagles, 2 touchdowns in Oakland. The Steelers at home, 2 touchdowns against Cleveland. The big numbers seem to be coming through.
Right now, that is the case in the NFL. Said big favorites are making big money in the National Football League. The dogs are really having a hard time barking right now, but you know something? When it comes to handicapping football games, everything eventually returns to the norm. And don't be surprised if these double-digit favorites don't start coming in as they've been doing so far. Look out for the puppies here. Second half puppy run on its way in the National Football League. Fade the big chalk.
All right, there you go. Remember, if you have any handicapping questions, send us an email to theoddscouple@opensports.com. That's theoddscouple@opensports.com. That will do it for segment number 1. The picks are coming up next. Mark and I make you money right here on The Odds Couple.